is Tim with Ace Appliance in Toledo, Ohio, and welcome back to another in-home diagnostic video brought to you by ApplianceVideo.com. We're on a Whirlpool gas dryer, and the complaint is that it is not heating. So the first thing that we're going to do is put it on a high heat time cycle and start it up, and then we're going to go down to our peephole here and just visually inspect through this hole. You can actually see the igniter glowing and the flame actually coming out. So right now we do have the igniter glowing. And it has started heating. So we're gonna let this run for a little while, and we're gonna make sure we're getting good airflow out of the venting. And if a gas dryer heats up at all, but the complaint is not drying, we suspect that there's going to be some bad gas coils. So we're gonna let it run until it stops heating altogether and check the gas coils. So what we'll need to complete this repair is a 5/16 nut driver, a Phillips screwdriver, painter's tool or putty knife, and a volt ohm meter. Okay, so we're on our Whirlpool gas dryer, and it was heating at this point through our little peephole. It is no longer, the igniter is no longer glowing, it's not heating at all. So we're going to open this up and check our gas coils. The first thing that we're going to do is unplug power to the unit, and then start taking the front apart to access the gas coils. So with our unit unplugged, we're now going to remove the lint filter, and there are two Phillips screws right on top to remove. And now there are two clips right at the top here. We're gonna use our putty knife to pop that up and lift open our hood. Now there are two 5/16 bolts holding the front part onto the cabinet. So with those removed, we'll now take our handy painter's tool and just depress a little spot on the lid or the door switch and take that connection loose. Now we can remove the front by lifting up on one side to release it from the clamp at the bottom, and on the other side to fully remove the front cover. Okay, now to get a good view of the coils, we're going to remove the entire drum, and we just take the idler pulley, put a little tension on it to relieve the tension of the belt, and with the belt free, we can now remove the entire drum to access our gas coils, which are right down here. Okay, so now we're going to check our gas coils, and we're just going to set our meter to the ohms reading and check our first coil here. And when we check our first one, it's completely open. I have a brand new coil here just to show what the reading actually should be. So we're going to go ahead and check that one, and you can see that it's about 1.3 k ohms. And if we just go back and check this one, we're still open. So we are 100% confident that our gas coil is bad. So now we're going to replace our gas coils, clean out the entire dryer, and we should be all fixed up. So to replace our gas coils, the first thing that we're going to do is remove this mounting bolt. And then we'll just loosen this one and slide our bracket out of the way. And it's at this point that I just go ahead and replace the coils one for one. We'll make our connection first and put it back into place. Notice the nipple on the top It just allows you to get it in there the right way. And now we'll remove the second coil. If you notice, there's a little sleeve that came off with this. This should be transferred back to the gas valve. So we will take this out and put this right back on there and remove our other old coil. Put our new one on with the nipple up again. So that way when we put our bracket back, both of those should line up so that they're properly seated. And now we can reinstall our mounting bolts. And that repair is complete. We'll clean out the rest of the dryer and put it back together. So now that our dryer is clean, we're just going to make sure everything sounds good. Make sure the rollers are turning smooth. They definitely are. Our idler pulley is smooth. That's all good. So we'll put our idler pulley into position so that when we replace our drum, everything is in the right spot. So with all of that cleaned, we'll now replace the drum. Okay, we're now going to put the drum back in and we'll set it on the back roller supports and just slowly work it around to make sure that the felt on the back is in there properly. So once we have that in there, we can now put our belt back on, rib side down on this. And we did check out the belt and looking for any cracks or anything, but the belt looks good. We'll now put our belt back on the idler pulley and motor. And you just get the belt close, release the tension on the idler pulley and wrap it around the motor pulley. And we'll just give it a little spin to make sure everything is seated right. After that, we'll put the front back on. And to do that, we will start in the lower corner and attach it to the opening on the front. And just slide it in. We'll do the same on the other side. And with both of those seated, we can now lift up on the drum and make sure it gets over the front felt properly. And with everything all lined up, we can now put our mounting bolts back in. One on each side. And secure our door switch. Now we're also going to clean out the back of the dryer. So right now I'm going to close the top but not reinstall these two screws, and we'll turn the unit around and clean out the whole back because we're going to remove the vent tube here, blower housing, and get all the debris out. Okay, now to thoroughly clean a dryer, we're going to remove the back panel and the blower housing and make sure everything back there is clean. The first thing that we'll do is remove the vent tube and take off all the 1/4 inch mounting bolts. Remove our electrical cover. Now with all of those removed, we can remove the entire panel. And you can see some buildup back there, but the sneaky spot is right behind this assembly. So there's 4 1/4-inch bolts that hold this together. And with all of those removed, we can now pull this assembly out and completely remove it. Now in here you can see all of the extra debris that it's really hard to get to. So we're going to clean that out, clean up this area and inside the actual blower wheel to complete our cleaning of this dryer. Alright, so we're going to completely clean out the blower housing area. So with our dryer completely clean, we'll go ahead and reinstall our pieces and parts. So now we're going to reinstall our blowing assembly. And we'll just lift up on the dryer a bit to get the front part in and just route it right up through the top area. Just lift up to clear the edge on the bottom and get that in the right spot. And now we're going to continue to reinstall our mounting hardware. With all those firmly in place, we'll now put our rear cover back on. This can be a little tricky. There's an edge down here that needs to line up together so that it goes back into the right spot. Ooh, we got it the first time. So now we'll go ahead and finish securing the back. And we'll put our electrical cover back on. With that finished, we will reattach the venting and secure the housing from the front, put our filter back in, and we're finished. Okay, so now we're going to put in our Phillips screws to secure the blower housing. It's a bad time to drop them down there. So we got those in. And we will reinstall our filter, plug her back in, and set it to high heat, hit start. Now we will go down to our little window here and make sure everything's working right. Everything sounds good, there's no shakes or rattles. Our igniter is now glowing. And we have flame. So we have made a good repair, it's completely clean, and we are all set. Thank you for watching another in-home diagnostic video brought to you by ApplianceVideo.com.